Alright guys, so Path of Exile's new league has been announced. So let's go ahead and check it out, give you guys my thoughts, my reactions, and then I'm going to go ahead and check out all of the new features here kind of broken down via a giant Reddit post. But anyways, this is my first time checking out, so I might pause and talk a little bit about something. So if you guys want to go and watch it without my commentary, feel free to go and do so, as it will be pinned down below. But let's get started.
Thank you everyone for being on time. We have a lot to cover. The mark is in the rear of the dining hall. Cast, you're up first. You'll need to crack the lock and get us inside. Once we're in, Talina will use the vents to bypass patrols. There's a steel barrier that blocks access to the hall. Tibbs, can you handle it? Great. Then Isla just needs to bridge the gap.
That's cool. I wonder if you only get to pick one of these guys to go with you, or you just get all of them.
There's enough in that bunker for all of us to live very comfortably. If we stick to the plan, we should have no trouble at all.
Oh, it's a mechanical war beast? That looks really cool.
If we stick to the plan.
Kind of reminds me of like that control blocks like tile set. Some new like Portal MTX looks like. Alert level. So can you like not kill a bunch of the monsters? Does that make your alert level go up, or does it finish and then you fight a boss? Let's check this out.
Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. In this new league, you will plan and execute elaborate heists. Travel to the Rogue Harbor and hire a crew of thieves to perform tasks such as lockpicking, demolition, and transportation. Break into a secure facility and be careful not to trigger the alarm. Bypass security measures and infiltrate the vault containing a valuable artifact. Make a mad dash back to the extraction point to lock in your haul. Use your cut of the profits to obtain a blueprint, uncover escape routes, and train your crew as you plan the ultimate job. Executing a grand heist.
So you can have more than one like mercenary.
Choose your payoff from exclusive new items such as alternate quality gems, trinkets, body and weapon enchantments, replica unique items, experimented base types, and more. Plan your escape on September 18th.
Awesome. I'm glad that we have a release date. It's pretty soon. It's usually like 2 weeks after the announcement. So that's it for the trailer. Okay. So going over the like mercenary, they basically showed it off like in a brief moment here. I'm just gonna go ahead and just mute this and play some like POE music in the background. But I do like this mercenary system where like it looks like you get to hire some of these guys. I think it'd be really cool if some of you guys probably have already played Diablo 2 before. Most of you guys probably have played it. I really feel like POE. I mean, technically, I guess there's the Animate Guardian, right? But I think it'd be really cool to be able to equip, like, a mercenary, and we get to choose one of them that is able to basically do certain tasks. But it did look like you were able to select more than one, which I like that idea. I'm not sure how many you can select. They showed, like, a screen briefly over here. Once he goes ahead and does this, there's, like, a little menu here. So looking at this, I'm not sure if it's going to be kind of like the temple system where you basically are able to unlock certain areas. But one thing that is unique though is if each one of these, like you can maybe only take, let's say, one of them. Again, I don't know, but if some of them can avoid certain gameplay mechanics versus others. And I'm wondering if you can just literally just run straight towards the end. But that looked like a pretty interesting modifier here where that item just said Jeffrey's baptism. Awesome unique kappa. Anyways, all sockets are linked over here. So that's a pretty good thing to obviously have. Just get a 6 socket, and I guess I don't know if you modify it, if that will still like apply to it. Probably some new modifiers on that bow, but I'm just gonna go into the Reddit post over there. But again, there was a brief moment where it did show off the mercenary that you had, and it looked like you could have 2 of them. Okay, so it says the crew. So I want to see more about this system over here. I'm not sure if one of them lockpicks, one of them explodes, and they all have this. One of them like created a bridge, as we saw from the trailer over here. I like that idea, but I'm wondering also if they can die. That'd be cool too. Like maybe that would add another element to it versus just running straight towards the end. But if they can die, sometimes, you know, how it is with the NPCs, it's annoying. But if the AI is good enough and they don't just die, do they actually attack? Or is it just them to go ahead and activate a certain, like, activation of a trigger that, like, oh yeah, you have your AI here, you're able to go ahead and progress. I want to fight this. If any of you guys play Wolfenstein, that's what it kind of reminds me of that, like, Mechanical Warhound. But anyways, I want to go and check out all the things posted over on Reddit. So there's specialists seem to have a form of specialization related to different stats. Okay, so what is this? Oh, so there's lockpicking, looks like a trap, looks like a grappling hook. Then there's also that bridge. There's maybe you can level them up and they could get like a little bit stronger. I wonder if they're actually going to be helping you versus just like bring me to point A and I activate and I open up this door or whatever the case may be. So I like that. These items also come with requirements. All right, so it should be in the middle. But anyways, it requires level 4 engineering, can be equipped by your heist crew. Okay, so you can have a blowtorch. I'm wondering if it can like basically blow up walls like you could with, what was it, Delve. And then, let's see, additional bonuses over here. So the Golden Brooch, 8% increased job experience gain. Okay. What else do they have over here? So there's contracts they can drop from regular monsters. Oh, is there anything here? I guess, wait, did I close it too fast? Maybe it just shows like what the drop is over here. Oh, never mind. It says markers, contracts, blueprints drop from regular monsters throughout the game. Okay, so it's not really going to show us a picture of it. The contracts are purchasable for markers. Okay, let's see if they show a picture. I guess not. Oh, maybe I just went too fast again. It looked like something was loading over there, but it's continue browsing. Oh, it's just the cat with the monocle. All right, so there's normal, magic, and rare blueprints. I'm sure they'll have different modifiers. Oh, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we have a blueprint over here. The area level requires lock picking, so you'll have to, I guess, level up the mercenaries over here, and requires agility. I wonder what that's going to be. Team is pending. Monsters deal extra damage, so it's basically like another form of just like map modifiers maybe. But there's also increased raising alert level from monsters. I'm wondering if the goal is to maybe not eliminate monsters. Does that raise the goal, the alert level, or is eliminating them like reduce it? I wish they kind of explained this mechanic, and I kind of want to check out the comment section to kind of get some feedback from some of the community to see if they're like happy or excited about this. But different things. I did look at the leaks, I'll be honest. The other day I was really hyped about it because it's been a while since a new action RPG has got me really excited, but Path of Exile gets me excited every single time, and I'm glad that we have something new. Now, this is going to be a new thing that we're going to be able to just straight up equip in our inventory, so we don't have to sacrifice. At first, when I saw this, I thought it was an amulet, but no, this is going to be a new trinket that we're going to have. Sorry, my face is blocking. I'm going to minimize the picture size so you guys can read everything. So you can see the level requirement, and it has chances for items to drop in drop corrupted items in heist. It's just basically modifying some of the items here. You get double chance for div cards from heist chest, but they're all mostly from heist. I wonder if they're going to be able to be modified. Well, they're corrupted here, but maybe if they're not corrupted, can we modify these just to get base stats to kind of affect our character? Obviously this will affect power creep, but I want to see more with these trinkets. Obviously we'll have to wait until the league comes out, but I'm hoping we can still get some type of a benefit, as this is something that would make some of our characters even stronger, and more like less viable builds to be a little bit better too. So I like that. That's really cool. Let me see this grand. Oh, this is just what they showed off in the video, so more than likely we'll have to wait and to get more details on this. But I'm guessing you get to maybe go through some of the rooms and kind of skip out on some of the content, but I'm guessing some of these rooms will have other rewards. And I'm wondering, with this league mechanic, can we just max out on movement speed and just go right through everything? Or again, does the AI have a chance to die or a chance to get stuck and we need them to progress? It'll be interesting to see, because if they can't, like, let's say leap, across little gaps, that could be quite annoying, as you'll have to backtrack. But I think that they'll do a pretty good job. GG usually doesn't really require you to like have AI with you, and could potentially get messed up. But anyways, I'm guessing this is just from the video already. But looking at the other things that I kind of highlighted over here, because I basically checked this out just before the video. But the thing that is really cool, these are going to have new items, I guess, called prizes, and they're going to have alternate effects on unique items, which is really cool in the game. So let me go ahead and click on some of these prizes. So you'll see that there are gems that have different modifiers. You know, I wish they had a side-by-side comparison, but you can see the different modifiers on Flame Blast. In fact, they actually show off gameplay of some of the newer skills, like basically screenshots, in one of these posts over here. But there's also, there's probably another picture that explains this a little bit better. But let me show off the Abysseus. Oh. I like how it says an Abysseus that deals elemental damage, but there are going to be new uniques, obviously, with every league, and I like that. But one thing that's really cool, we see there are replica uniques that are going to be different than normal ones. So looking at the Iron Commander versus the replica, one of them will scale off of, where is it? Because I think this was also in one of the earlier leagues. So normally it scales, it has Siege Ballista, has +1 maximum number of summoned totems per 200 dexterity, but this one is based off of strength, and it adds extra damage per 25 dexterity, but this one adds damage per strength, and then on top of it, it's Shrapnel Ballista instead of Siege Ballista. So there's a little bit of variance to some of these, which will open up the doors for more builds, and any time where there is more builds, I like that. Although I feel like that should have came out a long time ago, back with the huge bow update. What was it? Was it Metamorph that had the huge buff with the bows? Anyways, but they'll show off more of the uniques in one of these posts as I'll scroll down here. But body armor and weapon enchants, at this point we're running out of enchantable slots. We'll be able to enchant body armors and weapons this time around. Apparently several of them can be even warrant with some drawbacks. Okay, so one of these that was shown off was that all these sockets are linked, which is pretty cool. The left modifiers have increased effect, but there's also an item over here that has a negative effect. So you'll see in the very beginning of the text where it says 200% increased attribute requirements, but physical modifiers have 15% increased effect. And I believe where it was originally posted, it says it doesn't modify the implicit, so you can have just basically more stats on items, which just means you're going to be even stronger, which is always a good thing. But there's also experimented base types. Let me go and check out this. Where's the Agony Ring to explain what's the difference here? Like craftable, like their usual counterparts, bring new combination of stats implicit. I believe this one was mentioned that it normally rolls like high physical, but like it rolls like extra bonus fire damage over here. So it's just again going to be overall just increasing the power creep of the game, which honestly I don't mind. But anyways, there was a discussion about hexes. So curses are going to become hexes now, and they will get a self-cast specific mechanic that will have their effect ramp up over their duration. So let me see if this one shows it off. Okay, so impending doom support and doom blast. So impending doom triggers doom blast when the supported hex on an enemy expires, causing an explosion of chaos damage based on the level of doom that had accumulated while the hex was active. So that's kind of cool. It's just supporting more curses. Usually I just do like cast on hit, you know, like most people do. Anyways, or curse on hit. But anyways, there's also Flame Wall. They actually show a gameplay video over here. So basically how this works, and this is again something that was, I just saw the text of it, but anyways, Flame Wall, you get to create a wall of fire which deals burning damage. Reminds me of like Firewall if you play Diablo. But anyways, it deals burning damage to everything in its area, and then when you or your allies fire projectiles through the wall, they will deal added fire damage and apply some of the wall's burning effect. I'm wondering if we can just basically get Firewall, basically 6 link it out, right? Make it very powerful, and then if all the projectiles will get all of those other like added benefits, that could be actually really, really cool to go ahead and mess around with. But let's go and check out the gameplay. They show off over here. Full screen it. So yeah, you can go ahead and throw it down. I think that's pretty cool in terms of an idea. It just activates as, I guess, like a big buffer to a bunch of your damage. But realistically, it does slow down the gameplay, but if it's worth it, it could definitely be something that some players would consider. And I like that idea of doing something that interacts with another skill, especially if you play with party members. This could be something to take into consideration, but because you have to cast it first, it might just lower the effective DPS, because you could just literally shoot your projectiles twice versus, let's say, activating the firewall, shooting your projectile once, moving on, activating the firewall. So for some people it might be not as viable, but I want to know what the interesting interactions are with certain skills. I think it's overall pretty cool though. So I like that idea and concept with the firewall over here. But then also we have a void sphere over here. Actually, do they have gameplay for this one? Oh, it's just yeah, it's just. Oh wait, gameplay video. My bad. We'll check out all the gameplay videos too because I want to see all these and how they work. So this is impending Doom support gen. But the problem is it's based off of, I guess, duration. And I know a lot of people like to move very fast, especially once you get towards the end game. The whole point is to do things as fast as possible. And if you have to cast Curse and then you have to like do something to basically proc the trigger of it to, you know, have the explosion, some people aren't as interested in playing it. But if the damage is good enough, people will mess around with it. But I also like to just mess around with certain things that are new. But as sometimes a content creator or like even as a streamer, people are like, dude, this build's so slow. You know, you could do this, it'll be much faster. And I get it, but there's also the idea of like just trying out new things. So I think that one's pretty cool too for some players. That's probably not going to be something that I'm super interested in messing around with. So this is Void Sphere, says physical chaos placeable pulse AoE that also sucks any non-unique enemies and destroys corpses in the area. And so here's what it looks like. I did see this one already, but I think this one is probably my favorite here. So it creates a void sphere that pulses with physical and chaos damage, pulling all the enemies. And the sphere slows enemies with increasing intensity the closer they are to it and sucks their corpses into the void. We'll go check out the gameplay video of this. Now, this thing I did see earlier on, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be super OP. I'm wondering if somehow you can make it move. That would be really cool. And then you would just have a sphere that just moves and sucks everything in. But I'm curious to see how it actually works. Does it just suck them in as they die, or does it just absorb them and then you have to damage everything in the sphere? Yeah, I'm still kind of curious to see how it works. But that could be good if, like, there's, you know, any corpses that would be, like, exploding that would make you take massive amounts of damage. That could definitely help out for that. But I think it definitely looks the coolest in terms of the new skills. But in terms of, like, newer gameplay mechanics, I think that the firewall definitely is really cool. There's another action RPG, which was formerly known as Lineage Eternal, which became Project TL, and now its name has changed. Heck, I swear that game's never coming out. But they had a really cool mechanic too with like the firewall where you could like draw it, and then it's like the same concept of like shooting through something and have it be modified. I just like that. It's what I would consider more of like a next-gen action RPG experience. But that one's pretty cool too. Again, I'm just wondering if there's a way to make it move. I think that would be really cool as well. But anyways, there's more. Let's see. It says reworked active and 0 question mark support. There's supposed to be like this thing about like 900 gems, and I'll check that out. So let's see. This is splitting steel. This is a new skill. I like how all these are. Why weren't these in the official POE video? But it's fine. As long as we had to check it out, that's all that matters. But I guess this is some new skill with what is it? Splitting steel. It's maybe something that like it hits an enemy, then it splits into like multiple projectiles. Okay. You know what I like about it? It reminds me kind of, what did we get with, was it with that blade vortex where you'd have those like shards of blades that would exist on the ground? I think how it works is, you'll get blades and then like it'll be some type of other resource and you'll have to like spend it. It's very similar to, again, the blade vortex where the blades, or was it blade vortex and blade fall would have these little things that would fall on the ground. For me, honestly, I might use it just because I think it looks really awesome to have the swords in the back, so I might just mess around with it just because I think it looks really cool. Heck, if they have like a MTX that makes it like a ghostly blue sword, you could be basically Virgil from Devil May Cry. I like that idea. It's a cool concept. In terms of actually using the skill, though, I don't know. It's a little bit slow. I just prefer my builds usually to be very fast. I'll probably end up making some type of Flicker Strike build with these new changes. I'll show you guys the Abyssius because that thing was shown off in a leak and I clicked on the leaks like a day or two ago. But anyways, that's pretty cool. Wait, we were at the steel over here, right? So we have splitting steel. Does it show off? Okay, so how does this work? Consume a steel shard to fire a single impaling projectile that splits on impact and creates an explosion of damage. The split projectile fly at nearby enemies and create smaller explosions on impact. Okay, so yeah, basically that's what it was. And then we have Lancing Steel. Oh wait, did we check out Call of Steel? Oh, okay, Call of Steel is the one where it causes all impaled enemies in a large radius to release all of their spikes at once, dealing area damage as the shard bursts out of them. These spikes become steel shards, which can be used as various sources of ammunition. Okay, so yeah, I was right on that. So it basically reminds me again of like the blade fallout mechanic. Then we have Lancing Steel, consume a steel shard by thrusting an axe or sword forward and create a group of impaling projectiles in the air, which shoot projectiles forward one after another. Okay. And then we have Punishment over here, which makes it so we've reworked the punishment skill so that it now causes enemies to take increased damage while they're on low life and explode with overall damage when they die. Okay. And then new Uniques. Okay, this is what I really wanted to go and check out. Oh, they have a video of this too. So these are Corpse Walkers. Some new... I guess it creates corpses as you walk. That could be pretty useful. I wonder if it creates this corpse of like the same enemies that are around. I'm guessing that's the mechanic. Unless you can somehow specify what types of corpses it creates. I should probably read the stats first because that would probably make a lot more sense. Alright, so what do these actually do? It triggers level 20 Corpse Walk when equipped, and you get increased evasion and energy shield, and also increased movement speed, 40% increased damage if you have consumed a corpse recently. Okay. For each nearby corpse, regenerate 0.25 life per second, up to 3%. Okay. So that's kind of cool. And then Chains of Emancipation over here. We have a belt over here, energy shield, max life, chaos res. Enemy hit inflicts temporal chains on you. When you lose temporal chains, you gain maximum rage, immune to curses while you have at least 25 rage. Okay. That'd be interesting. Mechanic to like kind of beef yourself up, but you can also reduce the effectiveness of the curse, so you just have really no downside of it. So there's new div cards. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this. Some type of Truskai Decaphobia. Oh, that actually wasn't that hard. Anyways, some map tier 13 quality. Okay, Delirium 100%. All right, and then we have the check out the design thread here. Oh, is it just like a? Okay. Oh, they even tell you how to pronounce it. Okay. 100% Delirium. It's a 5 random orbs of Delirium totaling 13 map mods have already been applied. Okay. Gotcha on that. And then so, where's the alternate gem qualities? Hopefully they'll have them side by side. Oh, shoot. This is way too big. Let's go lower so you guys can actually read it. I'll just go ahead and go through this a little bit fast because I don't want to go through every single thing. Dang, this video is already a lot longer than I intended it to be, but there's just so much content, right? See, supported skills that deal damage with hits. Mana costs cannot support triggered skills or skills used by totems, traps, or mines cannot modify the skills of minions. So add some lightning damage. Supported skills have base mana cost equal to 6% of unreserved maximum mana if the value is higher. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to read every single one of these, but I'll put them up on screen if you guys want to pause it. I just basically wanted to check out the difference. So 3% mana gain is cold damage, 3% reduced lightning damage, gain from mana per quality. Okay, so I think these are the modifiers of the gems, and when they said that there's going to be 900 gems, it's basically the existing gems, but they have been modified to kind of change up and add some more builds to it. So Cleave over here, I guess they just specify the difference over here, so it's +1 life gain on hit per quality. Does it have, okay, so 5 quality, okay, so they're just kind of showing off. Maybe there's some buffs and some changes here, but I think some of these are going to be different versus buffs and nerfs. I want to say that there's a lot of modifiers for all of these existing gems. So Herald of Agony, you have 1% chance for Agony Crawler to wither on hit, 2% less Agony Crawler damage per quality, and then with Flame Blast you have 2% Fire to Chaos conversion, 1 chance to poison on hit per quality, and then Cast on crit, 1% more attack damage per quality. Replica Uniques. This is what I was mostly interested in, which over here, we already showed off this one, which is it's Shrapnel Ballista versus Siege Ballista, and it has the strength mods. And then we have the Ambu's Charge over here, which grants us, instead of, where does it regenerate 2% of life per second if you have been hit recently, you lose 2% of life per second if you have been hit recently. But this one makes it so you gain an endurance charge when you are hit versus gain an endurance charge when you take a critical strike. So obviously there is some give and take with it. I like that concept. Obviously, this is a little bit easier to make it so they can have like the art asset, but they can modify it a little bit. So we basically have a new unique kind of based on the previous one. And again, I like that idea because it makes content creation a lot faster for them. They also seem like they've changed up the artwork on the item just a little bit. And I like that, so you can kind of see the difference, and again, it just makes it easier for the art team. Then we have Perfect Agony over here, what is the difference with this one? Oh, it just grants Perfect Agony, so it's the at series acuity, so it's, what is it? You have Perfect Agony if you've dealt a critical strike recently. I guess that's a new modifier for that. And then we have the Sword of the Divine, the Eldritch Battery over here during the Flask effect. And then we have Lionized Paws, which used to cast, what is it, like the Rain of Arrows or something? Where it's trigger at level 5 Toxic Rain when you attack with a bow, so kind of changing up the build. It adds chaos damage. I believe before it added fire damage, if I remember correctly. There was one patch, I think, back with the bow patch, when I think it was it Metamorph, where these were actually selling for a lot. But anyways, next up we have the Abyssius. This is the thing that I saw in the leak and I was really excited about, which is the Replica Abyssius, which grants you basically the same stats. Instead of adding physical damage, though, you add fire, cold, and lightning. I'm wondering if you can roll anything else on it, or if it's just supposed to be these specifically. But for any like Flicker Strike build, I could consider this a little bit more viable now. Because you just run auras and you get massive amount of bonus LE damage. Anyways, I think this could be really good. I might roll, here's my at least plan, unless I see something that's really different here that I'm really excited about. I probably will just roll Scion, probably go an Aura Flicker and just kind of mess around with that and see how good that is. And then there's also a Replica Khaleesi's Grace. So we got some gloves. They're supported by a level 18 Unleash, some Int, Energy Shield Life, gain 40% increased area effect for 2 seconds after spending a total of 800 mana. And I guess Mac OS is finally getting some support. It's a lot of stuff to go ahead and take in. But anyways, I'm curious to know what you guys think of this league. Actually, hold on. I'm going to check out what we think of this league over here via the comments. So it looks like there's a decent amount of like dislikes. It's like there. I'm curious to know why. Perhaps people are not super excited about this. Incredibly amusing about the alert level. Gauge slowly filling up with big fire explosion, meteors crashing down all around you. These guys make some Genome soldiers look competent. From being anti-hero to becoming an actual villain. Okay. How to do it with little help? With some old friends. Cue the recruitment montage. Remember, this is a stealth mission. Leave no survivors. Alright, after the lock's been broken, you need to sneak quietly past. Yeah, I'm wondering what this whole mechanic is with the alert. They didn't dip into it. And I'm curious to know if you could just run to the end. Like, is that going to be like the go-to strat with it? I'm guessing there's some type of mechanic that will prevent you from doing that. But we'll have to wait and see. Path of Exile, Payday. Path of Exile, you already love and want to play a game again that you thought you were bored of. Okay, so that's, I would say, overall positive. I'm curious, again, a Flicker Strike is going to be the most ninja skill ever now. Replica is great. Yeah, I really agree with that. And I'm really interested to see with the Trinkets if you can just, again, just get free items or free stat points in addition to what you would have. Stealth is optional for this mission. Yeah, again, I think that it would be interesting to see how the alert level mechanic works. But overall, I wouldn't say that there's like a huge reason to dislike this mechanic in terms of newer content. I mean, with those replica uniques, I think that is a really awesome idea. And I want to say, I want to wait a little bit more in terms of the info, because last league with the Hybris, I honestly didn't really mess around too much with that mechanic, as I usually play with Trade League. So I'm not worried too much about crafting a specific thing, as I'm just, obviously if I play Flicker or else I'm going to go for KOs, right? But nonetheless, let me know your guys' thoughts on it down below. Is there any reason why you guys think that some people are disliking the video? I think it's a cool concept, but again, I'm waiting to see a little bit more about the trinket mechanic, as well as like how does that alert level go up to make my final decision. And is it going to be kind of tedious to go ahead and do? Are the rewards good enough? We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, those are my thoughts. You guys can let me know yours down below. And thanks for tuning, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and want to be up to date on Path of Exile as well as other gaming content, we got Marvel's Avengers coming out this week, and that's kind of an action RPG. There is loot, there's exotic and interesting items that do modify your character, but I think it's going to be more casual, honestly. But I can have my hopes, right? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.